Vinted Nation, it is day 21 of the challenge, and I mentioned to you guys with your scans what you can expect, and I did one scan so far, and it's exactly what I told. This person came in for their scan. It was exactly what had happened. Her weight had hardly changed. So on her scan, it showed, I think, a little over a pound difference. So, I mean, if you weigh yourself 3 weeks ago to basically now, and you see a 1 pound difference, basically I think, well, my weight didn't really change. But this person gained 2 pounds of muscle. They also went up 2 pounds in body water. They ended up losing almost 5 pounds of fat. Okay, so I'm just telling you, if you're looking at the scale and you're shaking your head, just wait till you get your scan done, okay? All right, if you want me to look at your journal, you need to give me a nudge, okay? So just send me a reminder. Just private message me in Slack and just say, hey, can you look at my my journal, my food journal, okay? If you want me to, okay? What else did I want to say? Again, when I send your numbers, still getting people asking me, can you resend me my numbers? I didn't get them. Check your spam and junk mail. More and more people, I've asked them to do that. Sure enough, it's in there, either their spam or their junk. I don't know why this didn't happen last week and it happened this week. It's happened with about 5 people so far. Okay, question here. What happens if your fat is too high or too low? Well, really, I'm just going to say to you, just make sure you don't do that, okay? So what happens? Your calories are too high, okay? You've got 2 sources of energy. You've got your fats and you've got your carbohydrates, okay? Yeah, protein is, it's all energy, right? But primarily speaking, obviously sugar is going to be carbohydrates are going to be the easiest source of energy. But to losing my track of thought here, the next one down is going to be fat, okay? So if you go too high in your fat, you're getting too much fat than what I've given you, okay? You're getting too many calories. You're getting too many of that one kind of calories for where I have you at, okay? Remember, these all have, the point is, at this stage, okay, well, throughout the whole challenge, is to follow the numbers that I give, is to follow the directions, okay? I realize that when you're going down the roadmap from point A to point B and you're somewhere down that road, you're not at your destination yet. I realize that, okay? Now, but it still matters what I tell you, along that road, okay? So if you have too much fat, your calories are over in fat. You shouldn't do that, okay? You're having too much fat. You're having too much of that one macro, okay? If you're having too little, your calories they're going down too much. I want you to make sure you get more calories. Now, she's probably going to say to me, okay, but what if I make up those calories with, say, more sugar? So I go less fat and I go more carbohydrates. Is there going to be much of a difference? That's something, I will be honest with you, I cannot answer. I don't think anybody can answer, okay? But just bear this in mind. I think they each have an importance in your diet. So that's why I give you the amounts that I do. Okay, could you go low fat and higher carbohydrates, or do the opposite, go low carb, go higher fat and do your calories? Yeah, you could. Are you going to see much of a change in terms of your body composition? I think it's going to depend on who you are. All right, but I will say this, coming back to it, what is most sustainable? Getting a full spectrum of food is going to be more sustainable than getting less choices of food, okay? Another reason why I do this for you, okay? All right, so just, obviously your calories matter, okay? Your macros are based on your calories, of course, but try to meet your specific macros within that, okay? All right, if you're going too high in your carbohydrates or your fats, well, in this case, the question is fats. You're going too high in your calories overall. If you wanted to go higher in your fat and go lower in your carbohydrates, and then just make the calories work out. Again, I'm just going to warn you that the more you deviate, the more question we leave into play. If you don't quite get to where you want to be, okay? Or if you're not where you should be, or if we're not seeing the results we want to see, okay? So just try to follow what I give you, okay? All right. Sugars. Agave versus honey versus molasses versus maple syrup. Okay, well, you know, in a nutshell, they're all sugars. They've got different levels of sweetness. They've got different flavors. So, and they've got different sugar densities. So, you know, I think agave is a little more sugar dense than, let's say, honey. I think it's maybe 1.5 times what honey is. But really what I would do is if you were trying to choose between which one to use, I'd probably just go based on flavor. Now, I realize you're thinking, what? Like, isn't one better than the other? There are so many ways you could kind of decide which one is better. But I will tell you this much. Agave is the highest in fructose, okay? Next is honey, next is molasses, and finally the lowest in fructose is maple syrup. And fructose, we kind of don't want to have a lot of that, okay? So I would try to stay away from agave. I would stick more with honey and molasses and maple syrup, okay? At the end of the day, they're all sugar, though. Just remember that, okay? They're all carbohydrates. Okay, yes, they do differ in terms of their specific micronutrients, but all in all, most of these things, like agave, honey, molasses, maple syrup, they're not really high in any of the micronutrients. They've got some, but not much, okay? So I'd probably just look at the fructose content. Agave has the highest fructose content. Have the less of that. Have the sugar that's got the least amount of that. That's going to be maple syrup, okay? Or table sugar will have a very small amount. Okay. Coconut flour, hopefully that's helpful. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not, in my opinion, it's not that much difference, okay? Although I will say agave is very high in fructose, okay? I think it's over 50% fructose. So I probably would be like, I would just stay clear of that one. All right, coconut flour, almond flour, yay or nay. I used to think this was great because these two things can offer some bulk to food like flour without giving you carbs. I don't know why, but I'm telling you, when I put these into my diet, and I never took one out and just tried one on its own, I just know that I put them both in at one point, and it just made me absolutely constipated. Just overnight, as soon as I had it. And so I took it out, and of course, back to normal. Everything is normal. So I can't have it. It just, for whatever reason, it doesn't work with my system. So, and I was having more, God, I'd have to look, but I think I was making basically like high protein pancakes, or high protein waffles actually. Same thing really. And I believe I was having more of the almond flour because it's less calorie dense. So it was the almond flour that I was having the majority of, and so, you know, that's what was doing it. But try it, let me know. But hopefully you can have it. It doesn't do that to you. Okay, 9 minutes. Holy shit. Hopefully there aren't children in the room. All right, mess of the day. Easy doesn't change you. Easy doesn't change you. Remember this, that, there are so many ways we can look at this, but let's look at this in respect to the gym. When you do a movement, don't try to make it easier. Now, obviously, I don't mean in terms of safety, right? We want it to be safe. But we want to make it as hard as possible. We want to make whatever muscles are working, we want to make them work as hard as possible. Now, you probably don't know, you may not know how to do that, which is why I'm there to help you to get there. But, just a reminder, and this happened today, and of course I wasn't too proud of my reaction. Okay, but if there's one thing, if you want to annoy me in class, if you really want to annoy me, finish a set and be like this. That was easy. Okay? because it shouldn't be, okay? None of your sets should, well, maybe a warm-up set won't be that hard. But when you're doing that final set, that set to maximum, it should always be hard, okay? It should be, you should be taking yourself, and again, it doesn't matter what kind of shape you're in, if you push yourself to fatigue, okay, you can be a top level athlete in the world, or you can be a completely obese, sedentary person. If you push yourself to the very limit, you will be out of breath and you're not gonna be able to talk, okay? It doesn't matter what I train. I can be in the gym doing arms, and after a set, I am out of breath. And I'll always make myself that way, okay? Now, granted, if I'm doing legs, it's gonna be a little bit more than that because it's a larger muscle group. But, you should always be absolutely fatigued after your set. Now, granted, I realize this takes time. Some of you just started and you're like, what? I'm just learning how to do the movements and I'm trying to so maybe I'm being a bit hard on you, all right? So, I will lay that out there as well, all right? But the point is try as hard as you can and go run towards the pain, don't run away from the pain, okay? Anyways, that's what I'm getting at when I say easy doesn't change you, okay? If you want to change, you need to put the body into an environment that it's not used to. It needs to be exposed to a stimulus that it is not comfortable with. That's going to force the body to go through an adaptive phase. When the body goes through the adaptive phase, it changes. Okay? So I'm going to say that again. It needs to be exposed to something it's not used to. Okay? So, and in fairness to you, being that maybe you don't weight train, or you haven't been weight training up until this challenge started, then everything is new, so you don't really have to work that hard in order to see some change. But the body will adapt very fast. So you need to keep pushing, okay? You need to keep pushing. So keep trying harder, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Else I'll just ramble forever. Day 21 in the books, and 3 weeks in, and hopefully you booked your scan. It looks like everybody has, but I haven't verified if everybody actually did. If you have not already, please do that. And I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself, and for the love of humanity, for the love of your children, for the goodwill of this world, believe in yourself, and just start doing that today if you're not already, okay? We'll talk to you all very soon. See ya. It's on.